What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Feels very weird to say that. We have a good video coming for you today. Actually on my way to Jiu-Jitsu. So we're gonna get Jiu-Jitsu in, go back, get another workout in, and then gonna explain what's been going on in my life over the last year. Talk to you soon. I'm about to get my ass kicked. That's how I start my day every day. When I first started Jiu-Jitsu, my first coach, Mark Cerrone, said, when you start your day by trying to prevent someone from choking you out, every other obstacle you face that day seems relatively insignificant. So let's go have some fun. He doesn't let me do anything. He just kicks my ass.
How do you feel?
I feel exhausted right now. I feel way better when it's done. It's like I hate it in the moment, but I love it when it's over.
Okay. No, way. They got you up. You're kicking it, bro. I got you.
Feel great. Feel really good. I love Jiu-Jitsu. I love how I feel after. Even though he just destroys me, he kicks my ass. It's there's something to be said about always finding a way to improve. And this is one of the things that I found like addictive about Jiu-Jitsu is with weightlifting. I loved it. Weightlifting is my life. I was an elite powerlifter, competed for years, but the bar is always the bar. The bar never changes. It's not like changing on you. It's not like attacking you. And there's never two rolls, never two fights that are exactly the same, ever. 200 pounds is always 200 pounds, but the same fighter isn't always the same fighter. Never, even back-to-back fights, it never goes the same way. So I'm always learning. I'm always trying to, the next chess move, the next what can I improve on, and it's very humbling to know that like no matter how good you get, there's always people who are infinitely better than you. So I love it, and I have an amazing teacher, Alex Martin's Jiu-Jitsu here in Dallas. If you're in Dallas, you want to get the best Jiu-Jitsu in this area, Alex Martin's #1. So I'm gonna go back, have a little something to eat, nothing too big, because I'm gonna work out again. So gonna do some strength training, and then gonna hang out with my wife, talk a little bit about what's been going on the last year, and what we're looking forward to in the coming year, actually the next like 2 weeks or something. And yeah, so get back, strength train, and then hang out with my wife for a little bit.
Tell me a little bit about what your nutrition typically is like when you're doing these days where you're doubling up.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. #1 is I want to have more energy, right? So after all that jiu-jitsu, I don't want to go right into another workout without eating, but I don't want to have so much that like I feel bloated or like I want to throw up in the middle of the workout. So I'm going to keep what I eat pretty light, but also pretty energy dense. So I've got a banana, I'm like smearing it with peanut butter on top. And then, so I'll have this, and then I'll probably have a little bit of protein because I'm going to do some strength training. And I was trying to sandwich my strength training with carbs and protein. Obviously a little bit of fat as well with the peanut butter, but not so much that it's going to overdo it. So smaller meals when I'm in between training sessions that give me more energy without really like overdoing it. So I don't want to be like bolus. I don't want my stomach to be like, oh, out here, because that's super uncomfortable when I'm training. Okay, so every like year I hire a new coach. I always hire a new coach because that way I can learn more, I can learn from that coach, I can improve my own training systems, and also it holds me accountable. If I'm paying somebody to do my programming, I'm more likely to do it. So for the past like 8 months, I've been working with Alex Viada. I've done a number of podcasts with him on Zone 2 cardio and how that can improve your health and performance. So he's writing my workout, and today, doesn't look like we have any cardio, but we have a full body strength workout. So I'm gonna make my way through that, and Mitch behind the camera is gonna just take you along for the ride. I'm gonna do some RDLs, so probably gonna just put 225 on between probably 12 to 15 reps per set. So just did upper body push. Now I'm gonna go to lower body pull. The other 45. A lot of people struggle to unrack the weight now. Keep all the weight on one side, only take off the other side. Then pick up the empty side. Boom. Single-handed dumbbell, clean push press, and then squat. 30 total reps per hand. So there's not like any sets or reps this time. It's more just like you do 30 reps as fast as you can with as little rest as needed. You just go until it's all done. And he wants me to do it with 50 pounds, which is gonna be fucking awful. So let's see. I got 35 pounds. This is my first week doing this. So I think since it's 30 per side, 60 total reps with that push press, like I think 50 pounds is gonna be too much. If it's easy, I'll increase it next week for some progressive overload. This week, starting 35 pounds, 30 per side, 60 total reps. This is gonna suck. I'm gonna do 10 and 10, right? So 10 on left, 10 on right, 10 on left, 10 on right, 10 on left, 10 on right for 30 total. Always start with my weak side. You always start with your weaker side as opposed to your stronger side. The weaker side doesn't have as good technique, so I always wanna start when I'm most fresh with the side that doesn't have as good technique. So left side first, right side second. So something you might have noticed, I'm going to my last round right now, 10 and 10 on each side. When I'm doing this, I'm doing my best to keep my face relaxed. I'm not trying to scrunch up like this, which a lot of people do when they work out. I used to do it as well, and sometimes I still do. But I realized if I'm in the middle of a longer set and I'm making grimacing faces, I'm like, ugh, in my head, it actually becomes even harder. I believe it's even harder than it is. So by relaxing and being calm, I don't know if it's placebo or not, but it feels like I can sustain it for a longer period of time because I'm not tensing. I'm not using extra energy. I'm not thinking that, oh, this is so hard. I'm like, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, face relaxed. It actually helps me sustain throughout the set without fatiguing as early. All right, so came outside for this, get some vitamin D as we near the end of this workout. So we're gonna do, it's a little circuit. We got a kettlebell swing for 20 reps, a med ball throw, over the shoulder throw for 10. And then we have a 20-second breath hold. So we're gonna hold my breath after that circuit, trying to hold my breath for 20 seconds. And then rest and recover, I'm gonna do 3 rounds total. It's a full rest. A lot of people are probably gonna be asking why the breath hold? What the fuck is the point of that? This is Jiu-Jitsu specific. This is not something that we would do with just general population if you wanna improve your health and performance. This is specifically for Jiu-Jitsu because a lot of times you find yourself in a position like you might've seen earlier where it's hard to breathe. It's really difficult. And this isn't anything really from a physiological perspective as much as a psychological perspective. Getting comfortable, not being able to breathe, when your heart's going crazy. So that's what we've been working on. Recently, I held my breath for over 2 minutes. When I first started, I could only hold it for about like just about a minute. So through doing these like different breath holds throughout working with Alex Viada, my breath hold and my ability to relax in an uncomfortable situation has improved dramatically. So that's why we have that breath hold in there. Now we have to put our weights back because we're not savages. And when you're done using your weights, always put it back. I was just telling Mitch, one day I'm gonna open up a gym. It's completely free, 100%. But if you're the motherfucker who leaves your weights out, when you're done, you leave the gym, for every pound of weight that you leave out, you have to pay that in dollars. And you can't come back to the gym until that's paid. And if you do that 3 times, you're out of the fucking gym for good. It's completely free if you put your weights back. So, gym etiquette, people, it matters.
You tell me what you're doing here?
So, some motherfucker left their weights, so I'm putting it back. But this might actually be helpful for people. When you're putting your weights back in the gym, a lot of people don't know where the weights go. I'm gonna explain why this is in a second, but if you have an inside the rack option, that's usually 2.5, 5 pounds. Top one, 5 to 10 pounds. Middle one, 25 to 35. Last one, 45 to 55, depending on the weights your gym has. A lot of people ask, why would we put the 45 on the bottom? It's easier to actually pick it up and put it higher. The issue is the risk of danger. If it's falling from up here or from here, which I've seen it happen, I've seen it fall on people's feet, break their feet. A fall from down here, it's a couple of inches. It's far less dangerous. So that's why it goes heaviest, closest to the floor, lightest up high. So Mitch was just asking me, like, throughout the workout, he saw me on my phone, what was I doing? For me personally, I was looking at my workout, right? So Alex Viada, he has a little app. I go on the app, I check my workout is that day. And I think for the majority of the time, it's important, like when you're at the gym, make it your gym time. Make it something where like you can remove yourself from work, remove yourself from stress as best as you can, and try and not be on your phone. Obviously, when we have our baby, like I'm gonna be checking my phone. If my wife needs me, I can come back home, whatever it is, like I'll be available. The other thing that's important to mention here, and I didn't think about this until somewhat recently in the last few years, I know personally, when I was younger in the gym, like sort of a dickhead, I'd look at people on their phone and I'd immediately judge them. And I'd be like, fucking lazy, what are they doing, da 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 da. I'd see they were texting or something. And then I started to realize some people have real anxiety in the gym. People get very anxious, and some people might have an anxiety attack. And for some of them, getting on their phone, texting someone, they might be asking for help. They might be looking for a distraction. So it is also important to be aware, like, don't just immediately judge someone just because they are on their phone. They might be having an issue, they might be dealing with something, whatever it is. So yes, do it to your best of your ability. Get off your phone, separate yourself from the outside world, and just focus on your workout. But don't be so quick to judge someone because they are on their phone. You never know what they're going through, so just be aware of that.
Ready.
Good?
Good.
All right, Jordan, you're back. You've been off YouTube for a year. What's been going on?
So first and foremost, we got Mitch behind the camera. Mitch is the man. He's been here all day. We're gonna be very excited to keep working with him in the future. What's up, YouTube? Very excited to be back. I'm here with my wife.
Hi, everybody.
So actually, that's actually a good place to start. So first, she does have a name, but we decided that we're not going to be publicly open about it. We decided that together. It's actually interesting. I don't know if you remember this. Early on, when Nini and I first started dating, we actually did share her name. Like, it was public on social media. But yeah, but it was before my Instagram really started to take off. And then as it started to build up and up and up, you were like, all right, you know what, maybe I'm gonna I remember you didn't want to, you made your Instagram profile private and all of that. And so we used to share her name, but now, as things get bigger and bigger and bigger, we wanted to maintain some semblance of privacy for many reasons, not least of which is safety. But So we call her Nini here. And so this past year has been crazy. We moved from New York to Dallas, which was the last video on this channel. And, you know, there's been a lot going on. We got married August 11th, 2021.
I know, almost a year
Almost
now.
a year ago now. We got married. It's coming up on our 1-year anniversary. And it's been an amazing year. We really enjoy Dallas. The community's been great. The food's been great. The building we're in is great. Everything. But I sort of lost my passion for YouTube, my love for YouTube. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be consistent on YouTube. So all the respect to the creators on here who are putting out every single week. But for me, I was spending a lot more time on my podcast, which we'll put the link to that in the show notes or in the description if you don't subscribe to that. But a lot of my podcasts, thank you to all the listeners. We're over 6.3 million downloads now, so thank you for that. And on my Instagram Q&As. And otherwise, just been spending a lot more time relaxing. One of the reasons that we actually wanted to move from New York to Texas was because we wanted to just relax more. Like the grind of New York got to be a little bit much, and we wanted to move to a place where we could focus on ourselves and focus on the family. And I feel like we've reached a really good balance now.
Down.
Yeah, settle down a little bit more. And so we got married about a year ago, and now I think it's time to come back to YouTube. Not as intensely as before, not like every couple days, but maybe like 2 or 3 times a month we'll come back to YouTube, do some updates. But as you can see, we're having a baby now, and we are having a baby girl, which we are super excited about. So Mini Neens is going to be coming. Hopefully, I mean, she could come like literally any day now, said the doctor, but within the next 2 weeks or so. And one of the main reasons we want to come back to YouTube is still share fitness content for sure, but I don't have that many home videos of me. I know you don't have that many home videos of you when you were younger. And how cool would it be for our kids, you know, for our first one coming and thereafter to be able to look back and see what life was like before they were born and see what life is like when they were really young and babies. So a lot of this is going to be home video content, videos like of our family and whatnot, and also sharing how we can maintain some semblance of health and fitness while going through this crazy process of raising a baby and eventually, hopefully, God willing, multiple babies. So yeah, we're back. We're going to be coming more frequently, a couple times a month, and we're just expecting our little baby girl very soon. Anything you want to add to that?
Did we want to talk about the due date? So today's the 5th of August, and she's due on the 16th. So when you said any day now, we are expecting her any day.
Yeah.
And we're so excited.
Yeah, that's it.
What is your life like right now before the baby comes?
Yeah, what is life like right now? It's a good question.
We slept until like 9, 10.
Yeah, you know, so that's actually been one of the things we've really taken advantage of the last
Sleeping,
year
yeah.
is sleep. My sleep used to be awful. Like when I was really like on the grind and working every day, like I would pull all-nighters and I would
It'd make me so worried.
Yeah, I was working a lot, and I don't regret it. I don't recommend it, but I don't regret it. But I also was like, you know, my blood pressure was high, my stress was high, and I was like, I can't expect to live a long life if I'm continuing to do this. So, you know, lately, we'll go to bed somewhere between like 10 and midnight usually, and we'll wake up somewhere between like 8 and 10 usually. So, like, we sleep a lot, which is great. And, you know, there's a lot of work as well. So you did work, but since you got pregnant, you started to take time off more recently, and so you're at home more now.
Right, like especially towards the end, like uncomfortable, and I had a little back pain for some time. So
Actually, you know what? Do you want to talk about what the first trimester was like, second trimester, and third trimester? Because each trimester has sort of presented its own difficulties.
It did. I know everyone gets different symptoms, but for me, very early on, even before finding out that I was pregnant, having that like morning sickness it started with like 30 seconds of feeling nauseous to like all day long and all night long of nausea. So that was very uncomfortable. And I think that lasted a little bit past the first trimester. I'd say maybe to like week 14 or 16, right?
Yeah.
I was very tired as well in the first trimester. I was still continuing to work like almost full time.
Yeah, you were.
I still try to push through it. It was nice to have a little bit of distraction. And then the second trimester is the best, like everyone says, and that's true. We went on our baby moon to Florida, Naples, which was
amazing.
So nice,
Very nice.
The beach. And the second trimester, the heartburn hit hard.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that was terrible.
Uncomfortable. But you know what? It's interesting because it was almost like my body telling me to focus on eating like healthier, not just healthier, because I've really worked on my nutrition the best that I could. But,
you've done an amazing job with your nutrition.
Thank you. Just really focusing on like, okay, I can't have French fries because that is gonna trigger the heartburn.
Yeah.
So like really just focusing on my food choices. And then the third trimester, the last few weeks, especially the last like month and a half, has been like super uncomfortable. It's we say we sleep a lot because we do, but like I'm up every hour like having to use the bathroom, or like by the time I get comfortable I have to get back up to use the bathroom. So
and I just sleep through the whole night.
Yeah.
Like, she's up and down.
You'll occasionally hear me, but for the most part you sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited. And then I had a little back pain. I had like a sciatic nerve issue. So
yeah, and I mean for me it's been great. I've had no issues whatsoever. Obviously.
Well, he's been very helpful and supportive, especially in the beginning when I was so nauseous.
That's one of the hard parts about pregnancy that I didn't expect is I don't have any symptoms. Like, I'm not going through anything.
Yeah.
And so watching you go through it and seeing how uncomfortable it is, but seeing you be a fucking warrior and still going through your day, going to work, like, it was...
the food aversions, remember that?
Yeah, real food aversions. Like you didn't have as many cravings as you did like, oh, I can't eat that. So I went hunting for the first time, and I got a deer, and like if I was cooking the deer, she would have to leave immediately. Like, it was not good. And she could smell what the neighbors were cooking. And
we can't open the windows where we are in our building.
It's a safety thing.
So, like, when a smell is in the apartment, it stays in the apartment. Like, I couldn't even smell what the neighbors were cooking, above.
Her nose, she became like a dog. She'd wake up being like, do you smell what the neighbors are cooking? I'm like, no, I can't smell any of that. And it's actually funny. So I think a lot of people ask, like, how did Nini tell you that she was pregnant?
Oh, that's a good story.
I knew before she knew that she was pregnant. I told her that she was pregnant.
And I didn't think I was.
She was like, no way. She was like, there's no way I'm pregnant. There's no way. Because, like, I'm very candid on this channel. I tell you everything. I try to be as honest as possible. We were super blessed. Like, literally the first time we tried. Boom, pregnant. Literally the first time we decided, all right, we're going to just try for a child now. And I knew. I was like, yep, she's pregnant. I just knew. Sent the A-team. Boom, got it done. And I remember about like 2 weeks in, she started to wake up being like, oh, I don't really feel good. And I was like, she's pregnant. I knew it, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to jinx it. So I didn't say anything. And then at like 4 weeks, you took a pregnancy test and got a false negative. So I got a false negative. And I was like a little bit disappointed, but in my head I was like, no, she's still pregnant. I was like, that's just wrong. And then 2 weeks went by. So about week 6,
no, I think it was a few days later.
Fuck that, I was wrong. So a few days later, she started to feel sick, like have a head cold.
Yeah, because I had my missed period
and so then she was like, I'm gonna take some medicine for this head cold, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to I'm gonna go get another pregnancy test just in case, because I don't want to take this medicine if I am pregnant. And then she took the test, and it was like the ones with the 2 lines.
Yeah.
And so one line was very clear, and the other line was very faint. And I started freaking out, because if it's 2 lines, it means you're pregnant. And it says on the thing, it says, even if it's a faint second line, it's still a positive test for pregnancy. And I was freaking out. And she was like, there's no way. So we got another one.
The one
the
that
2,
says.
we took 3. I have a picture. I could send Mitch the picture so we could post it up here if you want. Took another one. It was another double line, still the second one was faint, and I'm just like so happy, I'm freaking out. And then finally she was like, no, there's no way. So we get the one that says either pregnant or not pregnant on it, just so you could tell. And then that one says pregnant, and her jaw just dropped. She's like, I cannot believe, because some people can never get pregnant.
Yeah.
Some people, it takes years and years and years, and like, man, we were just so blessed and very lucky that it happened on the first try. And I couldn't have been more excited about it. I know you as well. You were just in shock, and you also were really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's how we found out that you were pregnant. And my life in general hasn't changed much. I will say one thing that's been interesting for me, watching her go through it, there's a sense of helplessness that you feel. Right? There's a sense of help, like as she's super sick or as she doesn't feel well. Like for me, I just want to take care of her, but there's only so much you can do. So there's been this a strong sense of helplessness, trying to do whatever I can, but it's a weird feeling. So as she's going through that, what I'm going through is like, I wish I could help more.
You did a lot of helping, though.
Yeah, but still, like, to make you feel better, like to remove the sickness.
Feet.
Yeah, rubbed your feet and all of that, of course. But it is something that is, I've never heard many men speak about this. Is that like from the guy's side, like what it feels like when your spouse is pregnant. The other thing, especially early on. Now it's cool because I can feel her kick. Like I can feel her kick and I can feel her move. But early on, you could feel it way before I could feel it. And I think there's a bond that's created between the mother and the baby that the father can't fully understand for many, many reasons, not least of which you can feel it from the very beginning. Like from early on, you can feel the baby inside, can feel like tossing and turning. Like there's a connection that you have that I don't have yet. That, or maybe ever, there are real differences that I think there's a connection between baby and mother that will last forever because like she's inside you. And, so that is another aspect of it that is like, it's interesting to watch and take note of my feelings and emotions with that. But I mean, my life in general has been great. Work has been phenomenal. The inner circle has been just amazing. Susan Niebergall, my co-coach, she's here every month helping out, and everything is great. I do Jiu-Jitsu almost every day. I work out almost every day, and my blood pressure is the best that it's been. I'm very excited to see how that changes with the baby. But I mean, everything is great. It's interesting. We have both spoken to each other, never publicly, about how growing up we didn't have much, like our homes. We didn't have people over our homes a lot when we were kids. Right? Like we would often go to other people's houses. But one of the great things I think that you and I have done is like we have people over almost every week, whether it's for Shabbat dinner or we just have people coming over a lot. We want to make our home a place that our kids feel comfortable to bring their friends over and just like establish a great community.
Hosting.
Yeah.
And sharing that with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So
especially we're still kind of newish to the area, getting to know. We don't have any family here.
Yeah.
So building like close relationships with friends.
And we've had some really amazing people in the community reaching out and helping. And so even though we don't have necessarily family here, if we need anything, we know we could call someone on a dime and they're here to help. So life is very good right now. And we're excited for the baby.
What are you looking forward to after the baby arrives?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. What am I looking forward to after the baby arrives? So there's a lot. I would say first and foremost, I'm really excited to see my wife interact. Like to see the connection that they have, and to watch. There's something about, I would imagine it's similar to when you watch your child grow up, right? And you see them do something that makes you really proud. You see them, I don't know, someone gets knocked down on the playground and you see your child help them up. You're like, that's my kid. I'm super proud of my kid. I'm very excited to see you interacting with our daughter, and to see like you becoming a mother, and to see you taking on that role. And I'm very excited for that. Also, obviously very excited to watch my daughter grow, and to watch her become a human and have her own thoughts, and just becoming who she is, and not really pushing anything on her, but allowing her to become herself. So very excited for that. But I think early on, it's interesting. One thing I've been thinking about is I don't remember much from when I was a kid, like nothing from a baby. And I was like, I very much think like God made it so that the early years are for the parents, in terms of, the babies don't really remember much, if anything. They're not gonna, so it's fun to have these videos so they can see this stuff, but it's like this time it is for us to enjoy the baby snuggles, and like the journey of becoming a parent and watching each other grow as parents. So I think the early part is I'm very excited to see the connection and bond between you and her, and to watch you as a mother, and also for me as a father to grow. But I can't really watch that as much as I'm very excited to watch the connection that you and her build.
I love that. I'd say the same with seeing
All
how
right, copycat.
you and her. Well, I have to say that. And also just like the love, and like building our family, and it's exciting, and I can't wait to spend time and like get to know her. And I'm trying to think what else.
That's perfect. That's a great response.
The love, the cuddle.
Yeah, just the simple everyday, like
The everyday.
holding her, smelling her, playing with her, watching her grow, just the simple things, like all of that. Getting her first words, watching her crawl, walk, even though that's going to be crazy. Like once they start moving, you got to keep an eye on them. Like I'm learning so much, and she's not even here yet. Like everyone's saying like, oh, they'll do this, so they'll do that. Like, oh my God, you really got to watch these things 24/7, because they'll be all over the place.
Yeah. And I'm just excited for like the next chapter, like when she's here in our lives, like how obviously things are gonna be different, and how we adjust and how we grow, and like move forward with that. I think that's really exciting. I look forward to like our next chapter in our life. Yeah.
The hard part right now is the waiting game. This is the very weird part, is like we don't know when she's gonna be here. So it's every day we're just like, I'm just like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Da, 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 da. And we were talking to the OB yesterday. We had an OB appointment, and she's like, some women, their water break. Some women, their water doesn't break. Like some women will go into labor when they're like not dilated at all, and other people will go into labor like far after they've already been dilated. Like there's no way of knowing. Which I was like, how do you? You just don't know. So the hard part now is just like every day is like, is it going to happen today? Is today the day? We even said if you went into labor while Mitch is here, it's like cameras rolling, like we're going to get the best content ever. So
yeah, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Still waiting.
Do you guys have a bet on what the first word will be?
Wow, not yet, but we could do it right now on camera.
Say about the dates, because we have a bet.
Oh, we do have a bet on the dates.
We have a bet for the dates.
But all right, so first word. What do you think the first word is going to be?
Well, we decided instead of doing mom and dad, we're going to do you want to explain that? Yeah.
So we're not going to speak to her in Hebrew. I speak Hebrew, but not well enough to where it's like that's going to be the language. And you're going to start taking Hebrew classes very soon. You've already learned a lot already. Ken, which is yes. So we're gonna Ima and Abba. So Ima is mother, Abba is father. So we'll probably, I would imagine that would be one of the first words. I think a lot of my audience is gonna think that fuck is gonna be the first word, since I say that so much. But probably Ima or Abba. I would imagine Ima. Selfishly, I hope Abba.
Like mom.
Yeah, like mom. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm thinking your name first.
We'll see. So either Ema or Ava, probably. We'll see. Maybe calorie deficit will be
Okay, what are you guys nervous about?
You go first on this one. What are you most nervous about?
You know, I think there's a lot of nerves and a lot of different, you know, things that you can be nervous about, like obviously giving birth. It's never gone through that before. But I think when she's here, I think I'm most nervous about like when they're so tiny, when they're just newborn, trying to figure out, because you can't really put them on a schedule yet. But I think just until she kind of grows a little bit out of the newborn phase, because they're so little.
Yeah, they're tiny.
And I just want to make sure like they're okay in the beginning. My first job through high school and then out of high school was I was an infant teacher. So I worked in a daycare that's how I paid off my first car. And so I have experience with babies. I think the earliest on was like 3 months. Maybe there was one that was 2 months. So I have that under my belt, which makes me feel a bit more like confident in this. But again, just like the 2 or to 3, the first few months, I don't have experience in. So we'll have to kind of work that way. We'll have to go through that together.
Yeah, so there's a lot that I'm nervous about. Like, I'm nervous about everything. I mean, everything from, I think about it in stages, like the very early part being like, all right, so right now we're in our apartment. It's just us and Mitch behind the camera. It's just us though. We don't have to worry about anything else. And so we go to a hospital, deliver this baby, and then they're just like, okay, go home now. Like, I'm like, and I'm just supposed to take this thing home and know exactly what to do. Like, I'm very nervous for that. And I know that the majority of it falls on you because like she's going to depend on you specifically for her nutrition. And I think that the connection with you will probably be greater, especially at the beginning. But I mean, I don't even know how to hold a baby. Like, what do you, I don't know. How do you
Or a diaper. We'll do that. I know how to do diapers.
Yeah, so practicing diaper changing, but I don't know. So I'm nervous about that. I will say, so this has nothing to do with a baby, but as she gets older and as all of our future children, God willing, get older, the one thing, and I spoke about this on my podcast about it, is the one thing I'm nervous about is, so I didn't grow up with much money at all. Money was always a big stress for my family, and it was, we didn't get much extra. It was more like, all right, we get what we need and that's it. One thing that, you know, we're very blessed that we waited until business was good and we had saved up enough money to where we could be comfortable. And so I am trying to figure out, and I know I have time, but I am nervous to be candid with you about how do you raise a child who has enough money in their family to be comfortable? How do you raise that child to not be spoiled or not be entitled? And that's been something I've been thinking about a lot. And obviously this is nothing to do when she's a baby, but as our children get older, how do you, because you know, I know for a fact I'm gonna be wrapped around their finger. Like, I know it. I'm gonna be wrapped around their fingers, and like, I'm gonna wanna do everything for them. And the fear is, how do you raise a good human who's a good member of society, who doesn't feel entitled and like, I deserve everything? How do you raise that person when they have so much available to them? That's something that I struggle with right now, and I'm like, okay, well, how can I give them everything that they need without necessarily giving them everything that they want? So that's sort of my internal battle before she and future children are born.
I like how that is a concern, and
Yeah.
I think it's smart to be like worried about something like that, because you know, we don't want like a super spoiled kids. I don't. Like, it's only natural though to like want to spoil them. But I think looking at our life now, and like, yes, like we're very comfortable and very blessed to live like our life right now and like where we are at. But I do think that we don't splurge on a lot of things.
We don't live like a lavish.
Yeah, we don't. Like when it's your birthday or a certain anniversary or something, that's when we'll treat each other for things, And I love what we do too is we always focus on cards over the gift, talking about little notes in the card. I think that's more meaningful sometimes. So that's my 2 cents on what you said.
I like that.
What do you think will be most challenging for you?
Okay, initially I think learning just a new routine.
Yeah?
Yeah, just the sleeping and learning her eating and all that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's going to be crying. I hate crying, and not as in I'm very careful not to tell someone don't cry, because that's not, they can deal with their emotions how they would like to deal with their emotions as long as they're not hitting somebody. But crying, I'm very empathetic. I very much take on other people's emotions. And so if someone else is crying, I get so upset because I'm no, if you cry, I'm gonna cry. Yeah. And so the hard part is though, early on, she's not gonna be able to express why she's crying. Is it because she's hungry? Is it because she needs a nap? Is it because she pooped? Any number of things. So the crying, I think, is going to be the most difficult for me because I'm I don't know what you need.
Yeah, I feel helpless.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to go to the doctor? Is there actually something wrong? Should I call the 911? I don't know. It's funny. I remember being a kid and looking at my parents and just sort of assuming, they're parents. They must have this figured out. But now that I'm about to be a parent, I'm I don't have anything fucking figured out. I'm barely a human myself. I don't know. So I really think it's just going to be that's what I'm most nervous about initially is how can I take care of this thing who needs me and needs us without fully knowing what it is they're struggling with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well said. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be easy?
What do you think is going to be easy? You want me to go first while you think about it? Or you have an idea already?
I was going to say the love.
Oh, wow. That's a great answer.
Unconditionally, yeah. Love is going to be the easiest. And I think
That was a great answer. Love.
Love.
That was perfect. Now I'm overthinking it. I was thinking, man, what do I think is going to be easiest? The love is such a wonderful answer. I think I'm going to have to copy you. That's it. The love. There's going to be so much love. My mom always used to say something to me as a kid. She always used to say, there will be times that I get mad at you. There will be times when I'm disappointed in something you've done, but I will always love you. And that was big for me because I always knew that no matter what happened, I would have my mom's love. I would always have, no matter what. She would also always say, especially now, she's very careful not to take credit for anything I've done. She's always I'm not going to take credit for it. People would say, oh, congratulations, your son has done this, he's done that, published a book, blah, whatever. And she's always no, I don't take any credit for it. And I remember I used to ask, I was why don't you take any credit for it? And she would always say, because if you fuck up, I'm not taking credit for that.
That's a good one.
Which I love that. So I think the love is going to be absolutely. You're 100% right. The love is going to be the easiest. Already, I know she's crying and screaming at 2 a.m. and I wake up and I'm exhausted. I'm still going to love. I'm not going to love that I'm exhausted, but I will love her, and it will be worth it. All of the struggle, all of the lack of sleep, all of the tiredness, all of the mental fog, all of the sacrifices that have to be made will all be worth it because the love is going to be so easy.
What house of Hogwarts will your daughter be sorted into?
Wow,
that's a good one.
I wasn't expecting that. All right, you want to go first? Or you want me to go with this one?
You're the pro
I'm
with
the Harry
this.
Potter.
I'm still Harry Potter in training.
You've seen all the movies and you've read the first book. Okay.
And a little bit of the second.
So here's the thing about that. So a very overlooked part that I think of Harry Potter is in the first book when Harry is under the Sorting Hat. The Sorting Hat's trying to decide, what house am I going to put you in, da-da-da-da-da, and Harry's just saying, like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin, and the Sorting Hat is saying, you know, you could be great, you know, it's all here in your head, like Slytherin would be wonderful for you, to all this other stuff, and the Sorting Hat says, all right, well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor, right, and there were conversations about this between Harry and Dumbledore, and talking about how you have the power to make your own decisions, to choose where you go and where you belong. And I think it is not up to us what house she's in. It's not, no matter what we do, it's up to her. It's up to all of our future children, like what house are they going to belong in? And there's no wrong answer. As we see as the books progress, like Slytherin would be a wonderful house. It could be a great house. It depends how you use it. There are some amazing witches and wizards who were in Slytherin and who did some amazing things. And so I would say to listen to her heart and to listen to what she thinks is right for her. And whichever house that is, we will love her and support her and all of our future kids. Whatever house, we love you. And you can't really go wrong. It's about the decisions you make. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that concept symbolizes like life, you know? Like what path they're going to choose. Like we're always going to be there to support.
Always, no matter what. All right. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already. And if you would like to help pay for baby diapers, it will be very helpful. You can join the Inner Circle. We have new workouts every single month. We've got an executive chef making recipes, an amazing group community and support in our private members only Facebook group. We have a lot. So if you go to sfinnercircle.com, we'll see that right on the screen. You can watch a whole video about what the Inner Circle is, what's included in all of that. And our baby would love to see you in there. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back within the next couple weeks. So we'll talk to you soon.